Chambers of Congress to the heart of democracy, where every word, every decision, and every moment shapes the future of a nation. This is where transparency meets history, where the voices of the people are heard and the halls of power are laid bare. Welcome to C-SPAN, unfiltered, unbiased, the People's Network.
As Willy Wonka gave the golden ticket Wait. Wait.
Oh,
Wait. 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 Wait.
can you shut up? I think Drake is having problems with his microphone.
Drakey.
Rasp, check the VC, the GC.
Yep. Raspberry, check the goddamn group chat. It's not even in here. Go to the other stage. There's a new one made.
Hello? Yeah, I can hear.
Your mic is really raspy.
Drake, go on your phone. Yeah, go on your phone.
You guys there?
Is
I can't. I can't hear a single thing.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I can't hear Drake, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
I can't hear Usher. Can't hear
Yeah,
Drake.
neither can I.
Yeah. Can you still hear him?
I cannot hear him at all, no. He's talking. I don't know if he's. I can't hear Raspberry either. What the heck? My goodness.
Use the raspberry. Jesus fucking
Well,
Christ.
it's not a Raspberry issue. This happens in AR all the time. It's Discord, and they haven't fixed it. It's been like this for months, but
God damn.
whatever. Is this a VC that people can just join in and start talking randomly?
Yes.
Just mute them.
Well, I'm asking
They
Raz.
can't speak.
They can, so can they join and just stay muted or whatever?
They can join, but
Or-
they can't speak.
Okay,
Oh.
great.
Okay.
All right,
Wonderful.
the house will come back to order. The chair now recognizes the majority whip.
Thank you. What are we doing right now?
Morning hour debate.
Oh, okay.
You just run your mouth pretty much until you want to yield. Reserve.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Let me come up over here at this podium to. As we can see, we are in the house, and it is. I think that is amazing. We have a new speaker, new whip, new House Majority Leader, and you know what? We are going to make this the best ever leadership that we have had here, and we are going to do it in a respectful way, in a way that we're not only the GOP but the Democrats and the Libertarians are also heard, and just for us to come together as a family almost. And I would also like to take this moment to recognize the people in the tornadoes in the South. My heart goes out to them and the families that are struggling during this time. And I hope that everyone here also can do that as well. But yes, Mr. Speaker, I yield my time.
The majority whip yields.
My goes out
Oh, open season. Sorry. The minority leader is now recognized. Mr. Cornholder.
I'm not walking, I'm slow. I'd like to thank all the new libertarians for showing out today. Unlike the Democrat AOC who proposed a very bad bill, but we'll get to that later. But anyhow, as again, I'd like to thank Mary for her kind words about the Libertarian Party. I may have said some things when we were arguing over the House resolution to recognize our party, but I respect what you said just a few minutes ago or seconds ago. But thank you. I reserve my time.
The minority leader reserves his time. You can. Did anybody DM Andy to speak? Or no?
Yes, I did.
Okay. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Board. This fucking open. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from floors 20th for a period of 5 minutes.
Greetings, individuals on this floor. I would like to congratulate the Libertarian Party for being recognized as the minority party in the House of Representatives. We worked very hard for this position, and I must say this is like a historic moment of a new party being recognized as the minority, and I would just like to congratulate us for that. But we do thank the other parties as well for your support in recognizing us as a party in this chamber. I yield.
The gentleman from floors 14th yields balance of his time. Hold on. I hereby designate the chair to the gentleman from Florida 7. Yes, Florida's 20th. Designate the chair to the gentleman from Florida's 20th. Here. if you need a document DMs. Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman from North Carolina's 10th.
I ask unanimous consent to be able to revise and extend my remarks for today's proceedings.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank my colleagues for attending. I also like to congratulate House Libertarians for defeating House Democrats and becoming the minority party in this chamber. For far too long, the radical left Democrats have done nothing but sit on their ass and fail for the American people. In this chamber, Republicans and Libertarians with a very similar mindset, yet some differences, will come together to work together to fight for the American people and not stay divided like the radical Democrats and the Rhino Republicans that have ruined this House in the past. I won't mention names, but, you know, they resign like pussies. Anyways, pardon my language, but it's the truth. I like to thank Mr. Cornholder for being a great patriot, and while we have very minor differences and disagreements, we can come together to agree on limited government and fiscal responsibility. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters, is fighting for the American people. It doesn't matter if we have differences. I'd like to congratulate our majority leader. Lord, you'll have to have these special names. Lord mercy. I'd like to congratulate Jackie Mitzi on becoming the House Republican leader. I also like to congratulate Mary Mader on becoming the whip. And I'd like to congratulate Colin McCarthy on becoming the conference chairman. I believe all three of them are, okay, well, most of them are competent at their job, and I believe they will fulfill their duties in the right way. Today on the House floor, I submitted 2 pieces of legislation to be voted on tonight. One of those being H.R. 6, which is the HIFA Act, which stands for Health Insurance Flexibility Act. It's to reduce federal regulations on health insurance, allowing insurers to offer more customized plans and reducing mandates on specific services, which promotes consumer choice and competition in the health insurance market. I believe this is a bill that all libertarians and Republicans can get behind, as it tries lower regulations, which both of us can agree on. And my second bill is, H.R. 7, which is the Helping Truckers Act of 2024. I myself, before I ran for Congress, was a truck driver. I also owned a trucking company for about 8 years, in which we employed about 300 people within Western North Carolina. H.R. 7 is to amend the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations to provide flexibility in hours of service, rules and financial relief for electronic logging devices, compliance for small trucking companies and independent owner-operators. For far too long, the hours of service and the ELD mandates have done nothing but hurt small business owners when it comes to the trucking industry. And it hurts the drivers, more importantly. And I believe we need to reform both of these. And I believe Andy Cornholder himself used to be in the trucking industry. He could correct me if I'm wrong later. So I'm hoping him and his caucus can get behind this. But once again, I'd like to thank everybody for attending tonight. And I hope for more productive sessions just like this. And I hope the Senate can respectfully get off their ass and pass my CR that I sent them 4 days ago. With that, Mr. Speaker, I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves the balance of his time. I delegate the chair back to the gentleman from North Carolina.
Thank you. God bless you. Take gavel. Oh, excuse me. Need to get on Ozempic. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I seek recognition.
For what purpose does the majority whip rise?
I would like to motion that we move to legislative business now that I believe all the speeches are concluded from both parties.
1 second. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
A second.
Seeing there's a sufficient second, the motion's agreed to, and seeing that all time has been yielded back or has elapsed, the House will now, without objection, move into a period of legislative business.
Mr. Speaker,
For what purpose does the majority whip rise?
I would like to. I seek recognition in order to talk about the bill, the HR4.
The majority whip is reminded that we are not currently in consideration of any bill at this
and
moment.
I apologize. I'd like to bring up HR4 to be considered.
Is there a sufficient second to the motion?
I second.
Seeing there's a sufficient second, the motion's agreed to, and without objection, the House will now move into a period of immediate consideration on H.R. 4, Cancer Patient Support and Access Act. The clerk will now report. Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman will suspend. The clerk is going to report the bill.
Oh,
He can talk.
HR4, the Cancer Patient Support and Access Act aims to provide comprehensive assistance to cancer patients. It offers financial aid for non-medical expenses, lowers insurance premiums, and eliminates copays for essential medications. The bill also funds cancer research, supports patient navigation programs, and enhances mental health services, promotes public awareness about cancer. HR4.
Without objection, the majority whip is recognized.
Promotes public awareness.
Thank you. So this bill is one that I actually really am fond of. I think that we should take a real good close on what we choose to vote on for this bill, since I think this bill is one that is really, could be really beneficial to our country. I really do believe so. But with that being said, Mr. Speaker, I reserve my time.
The majority whip reserves.
Mr. Speaker?
For what purpose does the minority leader rise?
I'd like to speak on the bill.
Without objection, minority leader is recognized.
So I do agree that we need to help cancer patients, but the way we can do it is competition and lowering prices down, so we can make these treatments more accessible to the people. The last thing we want to do is to get the government involved in treatments. We need to have privatization and competition. Competition brings down prices. When the government lends a hand and they lend a hand too much, that does not help anything but increase prices, and it adds more money to the taxpayer. So I propose that we do not vote for this bill, and I reserve my time. Thank you.
The minority leader reserves. For what purpose does the gentleman from Florida's 20th rise? Oh. Okay. You're not willing to speak. Does any libertarian wish to speak? Going once, going twice? Okay. Seeing all time has been yielded back to the chair without objection, I also now move on to a vote on this bill. The question on the table is the passage of H.R. 4, the Cancer Patient Support and Access Act. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay.
Nay.
Hey.
Woo. In opinion of the chair, the nays have it. And without objection, the motion to reconsider being made and laid upon the table.
Mr. Speaker,
For what purpose does the majority whip rise?
I'd like to motion to move into a period of consideration for H.R. 5.
Is there a sufficient second?
I second.
Seeing there's a sufficient second, we'll now move into a period of immediate consideration on HR 5. The clerk will now report the bill.
1 second. HR 5, a bill to protect minors from undergoing gender affirming surgeries and receiving hormone blockers, ensuring that all medical decisions related to gender transition are made with careful consideration and sufficient maturity. I said it.
Mr. Speaker,
For what purpose does the majority whip rise?
thank you. I asked to tell my colleagues some of the important things about this bill that I hope that they would consider.
The gentlewoman's recognized.
So this bill aims to protect children from being mutilated. Even with parental consent, this makes it illegal for minors to go under any gender affirming surgeries, to receive any hormone blockers, things like that, because these sort of decisions are made to be when you're in a very mature age, and it is something that people can regret later on. So it is best that we completely make this prohibited for people under the age of 18. And with that, I reserve my time, Mr. Speaker.
The majority whip reserves.
Mr. Speaker,
For what purpose does the minority leader rise?
I'd like to comment on this bill.
The minority leader is recognized.
So I know it's a libertarian thing to say parental rights and all that, but however, there's one thing I do agree that most people who make these decisions, they start to regret it. It's been a proven fact for a long time. So, and it's like saying some libertarians, the crazy ones. I don't think they're libertarian. I think they're just crazy. For example, they say we should let minors have access to things like, for example, drugs. Well, here's the thing: they're not 18 yet. They don't have that consent, and sometimes some things can be very dangerous for the youth. So I think we should vote for this bill, because it protects people from making decisions that they'll regret the rest of their lives. So, I yield.
The minority leader reserves. Yields. Sorry. All time have been yielded back. The question is on the adoption of the bill. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed signify by saying no. In opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the bill is adopted, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is being made and laid upon the table.
All right. Mr. Speaker,
For what purpose does the majority whip rise?
I motion that we move into a period of immediate consideration for H.R. 6.
Is there a sufficient second to the motion?
A second.
Seeing there's a sufficient second, the motion is agreed to, and we'll now move into a period of immediate consideration on H.R. 6. The clerk will now report the bill.
HR 6, reduce federal regulations on health insurance, allowing insurers to offer more customized plans and reducing mandates on specific services to promote consumer choice and competition in the health insurance market.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to comment on the bill.
Without objection, the majority whip's recognized.
I think that this bill is a really good bill. I encourage my colleagues to vote for it as it is very well written, and the context of it is also one that I personally agree with. I think that health insurance is one of those things that, a lot of people like to bring up. A lot of people like to say that, oh, um, it's one of those things that America is really known for, unlike other countries where it's different in that way. But I personally am for this bill, and yeah, I yield, Mr. Speaker.
The majority whip yields. I hereby designate the chair to the gentleman from Florida's 20th. Hands, gavel. Mr. Speaker.
For what purpose does the gentleman rise?
Sorry. Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to be able to revise and extend my remarks for today's proceedings.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of this esteemed institution. HR 6, the Health Insurance Flexibility Act, or known as HIFA, should be passed to give Americans more control over their health insurance choices, to foster competition among insurers and potentially lower premiums by removing costly federal mandates, by allowing insurers to design a range of plans without one-size-fits-all essential health benefits requirement. Individuals and families can select coverage tailored to their unique needs and budgets, and make plans to affordable basic coverage. The bill states flexibility empowers states to set insurance standards that better address local needs without federal interference, which fosters innovative health plan offerings. Allowing sales of insurance plans could expand options, enabling consumers to shop across state lines for best prices while increasing choice and affordability. This bill maintains essential protections by requiring insurance to cover pre-existing conditions and disclose coverage details clearly, safeguarding consumers against unexpected limitations. And I encourage all my colleagues to vote in the affirmative on this bill. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields. I hand back the chair.
Mr. Speaker,
For what purpose does the minority leader rise?
I'd like to comment on this bill.
The minority leader is recognized.
So first of all, I'd like to say, Drake, you might as well be a libertarian behind this bill, because I support heavily. We need to foster competition, and that decreases prices. I know I say it a lot, but it's true, and I support this bill. I yield my time.
The minority leader yields, seeing all time has been yielded back to the chair. The question is on the adoption of H.R. 6. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed signify by saying nay. In opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the bill is adopted, and without objection, the motion to reconsider being made and laid upon the table.
Mr. Speaker,
For what purpose does the majority whip rise?
I motion for a period of immediate consideration for HR 7.
Is there a sufficient second?
I second.
Seeing there's a sufficient second, the motion is agreed to and will now move into a period of immediate consideration on HR 7. The clerk will now report the bill.
HR 7 to amend the federal motor carrier safety regulations to provide flexibility in hours of service rules and financial relief for electronic logging devices, compliance for small trucking companies and independent owner.
The majority whip is recognized.
Thank you. I would like to comment on this bill, and I would like to, I'm gonna come over here. So I urge my colleagues to vote, in the affirmative for this bill, seeing as this bill would be very helpful for truck drivers and getting more flexible hours. When back in the day, I was married to a truck driver, and it was a really difficult time for him, and I just think that if this was something that existed back then, I don't think he would have been as stressed. And I met a lot of his friends, also truck drivers and executives for truck driving companies, and I think this bill will help these people and will benefit them. Mr. Speaker, I yield.
Mr. Speaker.
The majority whip yields. I hereby designate the chair once again to the gentleman from Florida's 20th. It's my bill. I'm going to speak. Mr. Speaker.
For what purpose does the gentleman rise?
I ask unanimous consent to be able to revise and extend my remarks for today's proceedings.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, members of this esteemed institution once again. I wrote this bill because back in the day I used to drive them trucks around. I've been in states like Colorado and California. I've even been to Alaska. If you ever saw ice road truckers, well, that was me. Anyways, I believe H.R. 7, the Helping Truckers Act of 2024, should be passed to support small trucking companies and independent owner-operators who are critical to the U.S. supply chain but often face unique operational and financial challenges under the current federal motor vehicle carrier safety regulations. By introducing flexibility in hours of service rules, this bill requires drivers to split their rest periods and extend their on-duty windows in response to unexpected delays, helping them manage fatigue safely while keeping up with delivery schedules. The act also provide financial assistance for the costly electronic logging device mandate, offering grants to small carriers and owner-operators who often struggle to afford compliance costs. The ELD relief includes privacy protections to safeguard drivers' data. Additionally, this bill requires mandates a review of hours of service and ELD regulations to access their impact on small carriers, ensuring that federal regulations consider their unique circumstances. Additionally, the Helping Truckers Act addresses safety and economic relief and flexibility, which can help ensure that the backbone of America's trucking industry remains efficient and viable. And I encourage all my colleagues to vote in the affirmative on this bill. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I reserve balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. I hereby hand back the chair.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker,
For what purpose does the minority leader rise?
I'd like to comment on this bill.
The minority leader is recognized.
So, I agree with most of this bill. However, there's one thing I heavily disagree with, and that is giving money, government money, taxpayer money, to small businesses. Here's the issue. If a small company wants to thrive, they have to be competitive. I just got a notification on my phone. I apologize, but we need to stop giving money to businesses. We need to stop that. And the issue when we do that, we have to increase taxes or we have to lower spending. And I think someone might say we need to increase taxes, which I think we need to avoid as much as possible. So when we're looking at this, we need to stop the problem. The problem is the government assisting businesses. That does not increase competition in the free market. Never has. As a matter of fact, it makes it a lot worse. And when a small business wants to be competitive and they want to grow in the market, they have to hire the right drivers who aren't going to crash their equipment, and they have to be really good when it comes to service and it's just basic customer service. And they have to treat the customer right, and that's how you make it in the industry. But we cannot let competition be stifled by government, which is why I say we should vote no on this bill. Because, as again, competition is important, and I believe more small businesses will be affected, in my opinion. Because the thing is, it's just they're paying for it. The owners, the drivers, they're taxpayers. It's like saying free healthcare. You're still paying for it with your taxpayer money. So I think it's counterproductive and it's a waste of time. But I do agree with the increasing security, privacy with the ELDs and everything else with the bill except the grants. I yield my time.
The minority leader yields his time. I once again designate the chair to the gentleman from Florida's 20th District. Well, I know who I'm making Speaker Pro Tempore next session. Mr. Speaker.
For what purpose does the gentleman rise?
I ask unanimous consent to be able to revise and extend my remarks for today's proceedings.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I respect what the minority leader just said, and I usually always agree that we have to lower government spending because eventually it's going to catch up to us, and it's always paid by the taxpayer. However, this bill is a strategic investment that supports small businesses that are owned by the average everyday American citizen, which these small businesses, I'm not sure if you realize, Mr. Leader, that they play a vital role in our supply chain, especially for regions that larger carriers often overlook, such as the Midwest, that doesn't have a lot of freight coming in and out. I also believe that small trucking companies are often face disproportionately high costs to meet federal compliance, which at the end of the day is the government's fault for overregulating these companies. And I'm not saying I disagree with ELDs. I feel like I remember you saying you don't really disagree with ELDs, but we can all agree that at the end of the day they need reform. And these ELDs are expensive, especially for a small company that just, came around and just started. And I believe that because at the end of the day, the American taxpayer is paying into their taxes whether they like it or not. And I believe if the American taxpayer is going to pay for something, it needs to come back to them. But with that, Mr. Speaker, I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. I hand back the chair.
Mr. Speaker,
For what purpose does the minority leader rise?
I'd like to respond back.
Minority leader is recognized.
So, I do agree we need to deregulate, and that is the biggest issue when it comes to the trucking industry, especially for small trucking companies. But as again, we need to stop spending on small businesses. Because if you want to make it, you have to be smart with your finances. You have to hire the right people. And I do agree, the Midwest, not a lot of freight comes from it. But this is what I propose, Mr. Speaker. I propose that we say no to this bill, and we get rid of the grant, and then we keep everything else and make a new proposition for this bill. But as again, I know it's like an old record playing this, but it's just when we spend money on businesses, that's like subsidizing. As again, it comes back to us. Always comes back to us. And whenever the government subsidizes or gives money away, it doesn't do no good, does it? But a competitive free market is the solution to driving down costs. It's the solution for bringing small business to its peak. And we can do that through deregulation in the economy and deregulating the trucking industry. But we cannot do that by giving money away. That's not a solution. That can be a short-term solution, but is it a long-term solution? We need a long-term solution. A long-term one. And you can't get that with grants. It's just like schools. You can get schools all the money in the world, but will it last for the long term? No, it won't. No, it won't. But yeah, we need to find a long-term solution, and that is deregulating. I yield.
The minority leader yields. Seeing that all time has been yielded back to the chair, we'll now move into a period of voting on the bill. Oh, there's been a request of roll call. 1 second. 1 second. Excuse me. A recorded vote has been requested. Those in favor of a roll call shall rise, please. A sufficient number have risen. A recorded vote is ordered. The clerk will now call the roll.
Representative Timbo. Representative Timbo.
Nay.
Representative Cornholder.
Nay.
And then Representative Mater.
A. Aye.
Mr. Clerk, you forgot me.
Representative Hayes.
That'd be an aye from North Carolina.
Books.
Looks at Raz. Check your Roblox messages. All right. With the vote now being ended, with there being 2 ayes and 2 oh, I'm being too late. With there being 2 ayes and 2 nays, there being a tie, the chair votes in the affirmative, and the ayes have it. The bill is adopted with a motion to reconsider being laid and made upon the table. Okay.
Speaker.
1 second. 1 second. Okay, for what purpose does the minority leader rise?
I motion to reconsider.
Is there a... Hold on. Okay, my bad. All right, the question is on the motion to reconsider. All those in favor to reconsider, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay.
Nay.
In opinion of the chair, the nays have it.
What?
Mr. Speaker.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Florida's 20th rise?
I'd like to appeal the ruling of the chair.
There's been a motion to appeal the ruling of the chair.
A second.
We'll now come to a vote on the. Y'all can roll call, by the way.
The roll call.
Well. We're having the revote. The question on the table is the motion to reconsider. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay.
In opinion of the chair, the nays have it.
Mr. Speaker.
For what purpose does the majority whip rise?
With all legislative business being
Gotta be more an hour. Gotta be more than an hour.
Oh, then I
Sorry.
yield. Then I apologize.
Point of order.
There's the gentleman may say his point of order.
I'm pretty sure the speaker's not allowed to vote twice.
I did not vote twice.
Okay, well we have 3 A's and 1 nay for the motion
Okay,
to
there
reconsider.
was 1, 2 being the libertarians voting nay. And it's
Okay,
me and Marie. Hold on.
C-SPAN recorded you voting twice.
Okay, hold on.
And
Me
the
and
person-
hold on. Excuse the gentleman will spin. Me and Marie voted nay, which means there's a tie, and the speaker has a tie-breaking vote, just like in the Senate. If there's a 50-50 tie, the vice president has the tie-breaking vote.
Mr. Speaker, AOC voted A.
AOC was not even present on the floor when we voted, so neither did she state her vote. So she was not present during voting. These are numbers given to me by my lovely clerk. Anyways,
Mr. Speaker, point of order.
Lord, that gentleman may say his point of order.
Mr. Speaker, the representative was on the floor during the voting.
She did not cast a verbal vote, so. And the clerk reported a tie.
Mr. Speaker,
For what purpose does the minority leader rise?
I motion to do a roll call vote on the motion to reconsider.
The motion to reconsider already failed, so.
And then I'm going to motion to reconsider again, Mr. Speaker.
And there's been a motion to reconsider. The question on the table is the motion to reconsider. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, please signify by saying nay.
Nay.
In opinion of the chair, the nays have it.
Mr. Speaker, I appeal the ruling of the chair.
There's been a motion to appeal the ruling of the chair. Is there a sufficient second? Right, y'all can just do a roll call and. Whew. Seeing there's no sufficient second, the motion is.
A second.
Seeing a sufficient. Right. Seeing there's a sufficient second, the question on the table is the motion to reconsider. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Mr. Speaker, roll call.
There's been a roll call requested. All those in favor of a roll call, please stand. Seeing there's a sufficient amount risen, we'll now move into a roll call. The clerk will now call the roll.
Cornholder.
Nay.
Nay. Tembo.
No.
Nay. Cortez. Nay. Mater.
I, sorry.
A. Hayes.
Aye.
A.
Hold on, Mr. Clerk, Mr. Clerk, Mr. Clerk, Mr. Clerk. I'd like to change my vote. Come here, I'm gonna whisper. Nay. And this is the motion. All right. With all votes being cast, with the aye, with the ayes being 1 and the nays being 4, the motion to reconsider is not agreed to.
Mr. Speaker,
For what purpose does the gentleman from Florida rise?
I motion that we enter a period of mourning business.
Is there a sufficient second?
I second.
Hearing a sufficient second, the House will now, without objection, move into a period of mourning business. I hereby designate the chair to the gentleman from Florida's 20th District.
Oh,
Mr. Speaker,
for what purpose does the gentleman rise?
I ask unanimous consent to be able to revise and extend my remarks for today's proceedings.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank my colleagues for a productive session today, and I'm very grateful we were able to agree on most bills, and reluctantly on this last bill, we'll just have to agree to disagree, because I believe funding our small businesses is how our economy uprises. Without small businesses, this country would not be where it is today. And I agree that with most cases, businesses have to be self-dominating in the fact that they need to be able to afford certain requirements. However, ELDs are, although a not useless requirement as it logs the hours a driver has driven, they are financial burdens to small businesses, in which that I just can't agree to. And your tax dollars are sent to the government. They're either going to be used or they're either going to be thrown in the trash or spent on, funding child sex changes. So I'd rather fund small businesses that keep America moving and rolling than, cutting dicks off. But with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield. You know what? You keep presiding. I'm going to sit over here with my great friend, Marie. Mr. Speaker.
Looks left. Cut.
Oh. Mr. Speaker. Oh.
I was on mute. Sorry about that. For what purpose does the gentleman rise?
Mr. Speaker, seeing that there's no further legislation on the agenda, no other members wishing to speak, I hereby motion that the House stands adjourned until, let's hope the Senate done their job by then, October 9th, 2024 at 8 p.m. Actually, hold on. Give me 1 second. I gotta check a time. Hold on. I got quite a busy calendar. Okay, Mr. Speaker, I motion that the House stands adjourned till Wednesday, October 9th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Is there a second?
I second.
You're the second. The question is on the motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Roll call.
Roll call is requested.
All those in favor of a roll call, rise.
All in favor of the roll call stand. Seeing a sufficient amount, roll call is requested. The clerk will call the roll.
Mater.
Oh, A.
Mater.
Aye.
Aye. Hayes.
Nay.
No. Cornholder.
Hey,
A. And then Cortez. No.
Mr. Clerk,
Oh wait. Tembo.
A.
No. Oh, wait, A.
The A's are 3. The nays are 2. The motion passes.
And the House stays adjourned.
The House stands adjourned until the next until Wednesday at whatever time he had said.
From the chambers of Congress to the heart of democracy, where every word, every decision, and every moment shapes the future of a nation. This is where transparency meets history, where the voices of the people are heard and the halls of power are laid bare. Welcome to C-SPAN, unfiltered, unbiased, the People's Network.
As Willy Wonka gave the golden ticket
From the chambers of Congress to the heart of democracy, where every word, every decision, and every moment shapes the future of a nation. This is where transparency meets history, where the voices of the people are heard and the halls of power are laid bare.
as Willy Wonka gave the golden ticket
I am going to commit great crime. I am going to bust nut in Water Tower.
Capitol from the steps to the Capitol. It feels like it was just a second ago. I was just sworn in. Oh wait, it was.